Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today we are discussing about Azure. So as most of you guys know what is cloud computing, how will it work? So Azure is playing a major role in cloud market. So if you guys don't know about cloud computing, if you want to know about cloud computing, I already made a video related to cloud computing. I kept the link in description box, you can check it and you can go through that video. So it would be really helpful for you to understand the basic concepts of cloud. So guys, let us continue the video about Azure. So as you guys know, Azure is playing a major role in cloud market. So when it comparing with AWS, it is not up to the mark, but still Azure is a major key role player. So what is the percentage of Azure in cloud market? It is 20% of market cloud compute. Azure is having in cloud computing market. Okay, and you guys know, though AWS gained a lot of popularity over Azure, Fortune 500 companies, most of the Fortune 500 companies are using Azure. They are not using AWS. 80% of Fortune 500 companies are relying on Azure for their cloud services. It's really wonder, right? Yeah, because Azure is providing certain services which other cloud providers are not able to provide, and Azure is very advanced level comparing with other service providers. So coming to other service providers, they are providing services with cost efficiency. Their billing system is very good. When it comes to Azure, the major benefits of Azure is it is providing services with high quality, and issues faced by Azure is very minimal or negligible. So that is the reason Fortune 500 companies are relying on Azure services. Okay, this is what Azure. So when it comes to job in Azure, Azure is having very great job market. Of course, if you want to get a job in Azure, you can try. If you learn Azure 103 programs like Azure 103, Azure 204, then Azure DevOps, Azure Admin, Azure Developer. So these kind of courses are there. If you learn these courses, probably you will get a job with high salary. Okay, don't miss the opportunity. But when it comes to a comparison between AWS and Azure, always AWS is the winner, because AWS already, it is having 33% of market, and Azure is providing various services and its billing system is very good. That is the reason most of the companies adapted AWS over Azure. It's like startup companies. For startup companies, AWS is a good service. So when it comes to jobs, you can see a lot of jobs in AWS side. So it doesn't mean you don't stop learning Azure. Azure also good. If you are very confident about your skills, you can go ahead with Azure. Definitely you will get jobs in Azure as well. And of course Azure is it's a rapidly growing service. Okay, so comparing with 3 years back scenario, now it is very good. It's very good, and they elaborated lot of services, and now you can see many services in Azure. Because of that reason, you can expect a great future in Azure. Okay, so I hope you guys understand about what I said. Now let us talk about the various services provided by Azure. So what are the major services provided by Azure? So Azure is providing almost 200 services under 19 categories. What are the categories? Computing, AI and ML, analytics, containers, database, developer tools, identity, DevOps, integration, IoT, management, media, migration, mobile, networking, security, storage, web and virtual desktop. These are the services provided by Azure. So why Azure is very much useful? See, Netflix is using Azure. So you know Netflix, right? they are well known for streaming the movies and streaming some other videos, right? So these videos, I mean, when they are using cloud computing service as Azure, streaming is very easy comparing with other services. That is the reason Fortune 500 companies for various services, they're depending upon Azure. So hope you got it. Now, what are the major services that we have to learn in order to get a job? What are the major services we have to learn? It is very difficult to learn all the 200 services under 19 categories, but there are certain major categories that you have to learn to get a job in market. So what are the services? You have to learn cloud computing service, you have to learn container service, databases, identity, security, networking, and storage. These are the major services that you have to learn to get a job. So let us talk about one by one. So first service is computing service. So you guys know what is computing service, right? Computing service, so the guys who doesn't know about it, I'll tell you. So computing service means it's a service which is providing you a virtual computer machine with databases, with RAM, ROM, security services, and of course it is providing OS like Linux and Windows as well. That is a computing service. So how it works? So you will be creating a virtual machine which is a replica of your PC or your laptop, and which acts like the same, and you will be having everything, but you can use it remotely. Your computer system can be virtually managed, and your operations, your activities can be done virtually. So this is what cloud compute, this is what computing services, I'm sorry. And what are the various computing service available in Azure? It is Azure Virtual Machine, Azure Container Instance, and Azure App Services. These are the services under computing in Azure. Okay, so again, when it comes to app, there are various app services, web apps, mobile apps, API apps, and logic apps. These are the services available. Okay, so hope you guys understand about computing services. Then it comes to container. So what is container? So container is a service which is known for, fixing the issues while you are doing coding. So when you are coding, there are certain instances where few things should react to the changes of coding. So these indicates if there is any mistake going to happen in coding. So these kind of container services are available in Azure. And not only this, they will help you to identify initially when hardware issues are there or server is getting crashed. They will indicate you prior to the activity. Okay, so what are the various container services available? Container Instance, Azure Container Service, and Container Registry. These are the services available under container. Okay, hope you guys understood this as well. So when it comes to database, so what are the various database services available in Azure? So you guys know about databases, right? So without databases, it is very difficult. It is impossible to generate a web application, right? So database is the key, center point for building an application. So database services are very important, and they are major key role players when it comes to generating a web application or activities related to IT industry. So we have seen there are a lot of databases, but issues also there with databases. But when it comes to Azure, Azure is providing some database services which is well known for its quality and accuracy. Everything is good when it when you compare with other services. So what are the various database services it is providing? Azure Cosmos DB and Azure SQL database and Azure PostgreSQL. These are the database services provided by Azure. Okay, next, security and identity. Okay, in 2023, security is very important because you don't know when your data will be hacked. Nowadays government server, central government servers also not secure because of various reasons. The hackers are very intelligent and they are understanding the mindset of security engineers, and they are able to crack into any web server or any web application. So security is very important. Most of the security services are getting failed because they have certain flaws. When it comes to Azure, Azure is providing certain security measurements and certain security services which are very accurate and which is having high efficiency in order to survive from the attacks of hackers. So what are the various security and identity services provided by Azure? So Azure Key Vault is there, Azure Activity Directory is there, and Azure Security Center. These three are the services provided by Azure related to security and identity. And then networking. So networking also, you guys know networking is very important in IT industry. Okay, so what are the various networking tools available, networking services available in Azure? Virtual network, VPN gateway, express route. These are the services available under networking. And the final one is storage. Storage is very important. The best example for storage is Gmail. You guys know. And storage, why storage is very important here? Because we are doing n number of activities timelessly. So storage is very important, because without storage is very important nowadays, because storage, backup, if you don't back up your data properly, what will happen? Probably you end up losing valuable data. So there should be some automatic backup kind of services, and secured storage services should be available. Without that, you may end up losing valuable data, right? So for that purpose, Azure is providing various storage related services. So what are the major storage related services here? Azure Blob Storage, Azure File Storage, Azure Queue Storage, and Azure Table Storage. These are the storage services available under storage in Azure. Okay, so hope you guys understand the basic concepts of Azure. And if you guys have any doubts related to this, you can post here in the comment box. I'm happy to help you with all your queries. So until then, stay tuned with my channel. And guys who are new to my channel, please do subscribe this channel. If you can subscribe my channel, I'm happy to provide you many videos like this with my experience. I'm pretty sure you will gain a lot of knowledge about various programs and job market. Okay, thank you so much guys. Thanks for your time. Have a nice day. Bye bye.